Astavakra Gita, second chapter. Janak said, "Wonderful! I am no sinner. I am pure. I am peace. I am awareness. I am innocence. I have been fooled by illusions all the time." Janak seen what had never been seen before. He heard what he had never heard before. Ego makes everyone proud, but a person who is egoless is like an empty pot. Janak must have been like an empty pot, wonderful and awful. He immediately awakened. He heard it and awakened. It is very difficult to find a person like Janak, who awakened with little hint as if he was just waiting for it. Majority of the peoples are there to whom you are trying to awaken again and again, but cannot awake them. They hear, but they do not listen. They understand, but draw their own meanings which suits to them. They understand, but still they hold their beliefs. They have deep vested interest in misunderstanding the things. They have to give up their old belief if they understand. They have to give up their old belief if they understand, which they don't want. Arjun was same kind of listener, and are you all are also like Arjuna. Arjuna has made a lot of questions to Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna had to work hard to make him understand. The Gita was born out of this effort, but Janak hears when it has hardly been spoken. Astavakra started to speak, Janak started to sing, became awakened immediately. Generally, people do not listen what is being said. They hear what they want to hear, but they don't listen what is being said. They hear what they want to hear. They don't listen what is being said. Few people listen what is being said. They take a little time, but when truth is seen, then how old a habit be there that will have to drop. The revolution of consciousness happens easily in the life of a man who has experienced the whole worldly affairs because that life experience tells him what I have known as life is meaningless. Person not enjoyed the world and wanted to get so many things but not able to get anything. It is very difficult for him to be awakened, and then majority of the people have not enjoyed the world. They want to enjoy the world and wanted to get so many things in life. Where is the question of awakening? Where is the question of awakening? So do not surprise if you find that all Indians, great master, were princes. It is not accidental. It is an indication that once become free of the world only after enjoying the world. When someone has nothing, he lives in hope, and it is very difficult to get rid of hopes. The poor man thinks that he will live happily tomorrow if he gets wealth tomorrow. If you have money, you can see that it is useless and worthless. If you don't have money, it is very difficult to see that money is useless and worthless. How can you see the worthlessness of what you don't have? The poor one man goes on begging in the temple for what he does not get in his life. The poor man goes on begging in the temple for what he does not get in his life. Remember, money does not enslave you. The desire for money enslaves you. Position does not bind you. The desire for position binds you. The desire for fame binds you. Astavakra says, "You are pure, nothing sticks to you." As soon as Janak heard it, the rage reached to his very depth, piercing straight like an arrow. Amazing! What are you saying? I am pure and flawless. I am peace. I am awareness. I am beyond nature. I have been fooled by all this time. Janak was shocked. What he heard, he had never heard before. What he saw in Astavakra, he had never seen before. Something wonderful was revealed. Janak was wonderstruck. Amazing. Now I am now I became now I become aware that nothing can stick to me. Truth is unbelievable. We have believed the false so long. We have always considered ourselves guilty, and the priest has always said that we are sinners. The Pandit and priests have always preached that we should wash away our sins. No one has ever said that you are innocent. Your innocence is such there is no way to destroy it. Those millions of sins cannot make you a sinner. All the sins you have done are only dreams you have seen. All the sins you have done are only dreams you have seen. Just wake up and they will go. Just wake up and they will go. Neither punya nor pap is yours. The very doing is not yours, because you are not the doer. You are only observer. You are witness. Janak said in wonder, I am pure, I am peace, I am flawless, amazing. So far I know only turmoil. Have you ever experienced peace? You will usually say yes, but you are wrong. If you ever known to peace, empty mind devil's home had never been said. If you ever known to peace, empty mind devil's home had never been said. If you look deeply, you will find that what you call peace is only a short time between two turmoil and tensions. You never sit in peace. Astavakra tells you to sit ideal in peace, become silence, become non-doer, become only witness, become only seer, become only observer. There is no other meaning of peace. Whatever you are doing is done unaware, as if in sleep, as if in sleep. If someone questions you thoroughly, you will not be able to answer. Why do you smoke when it is injurious for health? No answer. Likewise, so many things you do which are not at all answerable. You will only say, I don't know. I just fell in habit. It just happened. You are in the state of unconsciousness from the very beginning. We are more or less sleepwalking. Our eyes are open, but our sleep is not broken. Our eyes are full of sleep. Something happens, we go on doing things again and again. Why people love their face? They don't love their eternal soul. They don't love their eternal soul. Imagine. We are afraid to ask why because we have no answer. Raising such question makes us uneasy. Janak said, Imagine, I am pure. And not only this, you are telling me you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not that one which is being seen. You are the observer, always beyond the external world. It is to understand that whatever we see are not we. Whatever I see, I am not I. Whatsoever come in experience is not me. Because whatever I see, I am beyond that. Eyes are seeing, but I am not behind the eyes. But eyes are seeing, but I am behind the eyes, which is seeing. Whatsoever becomes my experience, I am behind, because I am the observer. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says the same but in different way. Sri Krishna describes about the soul in the body. Body is coming and going, but soul is everlasting. Bodies are changed, like we change the clothes, but soul remains. Janak simply received what Maharishi Astavakra said. Janak did not raise any question. Janak said, You shocked me. You awakened me. There is nothing to ask. Janak began to experience. You can also do the same, but it seems impossible for you. It happens so fast. It seems to us that it should have taken some time. We are very surprised. It happens so quickly. Just as I alone give current to this body. Just as I alone give current to this body, I do give the current to the whole universe too. Either this whole universe is mine or nothing is mine at all. Astavakra says, You are ultimate. Your ultimate being, witnessing, is yours. It is not only your center, it is the center of the entire world. On the surface, we are separate, but within, we are one. Just as waves are separate on the surface of the ocean, but in the depth of the ocean, all are one. There is no waves in the depth. One who remembers the center loses his personality. He ceases to be a personality. Just as I alone illuminate this body, I do illuminate the universe too. What are you saying? It is unbelievable. My witness is the witness of the whole world. So the whole world, whole universe is mine. Or otherwise, I have nothing at all, because I don't even exist. In witnessing, I no longer exist. Only witnessing remains. Who will make the claim? Claimant no longer exists. The next says there are two possibilities, either fullness or emptiness. Upanishad says the same. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. Everything comes out of that whole, but that whole remains the whole. Everything merges in the whole, but whole neither increases nor decreases. I am the center of the entire universe. The entire universe is mine. But when I am the center of the entire universe, I no longer remain I. I has dropped. My I has dropped. It is left behind like a cloud of dust. Renouncing the body, I see only divinity. Imagine having renounced the body and the world, now through the circle of your teaching, I see only divine. It is wonderful. My body is no more, and with the body, the whole world disappears. Renunciation is not to be done. It is a state of consciousness. If someone says, I am denunciate, he knows nothing about renunciation. Because as long as there is I, how can there is renunciation? Let go does not mean abandoning things. Let go renunciation means waking up and seeing that nothing is yours. How can I drop? What to drop? If I had to held, I can drop. If I had held, I can drop. So the key for the realization is when you see world is nothing, what is there to renounce? But there are people who keep track of how much they have renounced. Because scripture says if you give 1 paisa here, you will receive millions there. Who is not going to do such a business? This is just an extension of your greed. There is a story to open your eyes. There was a king having only one son, and that son was seriously sick, lying on his deathbed. The physicians had given up the hopes, saying, We cannot do anything. He can die any moment. It is a matter of just 2-3 days. The father stayed awake all night, sitting on his bedside. Tears were falling from his eyes. Sitting at about 3 a.m. in the morning, the father began to doze. While he slept, he dreamed a great empire over which he was lord. He had 12 sons. All were very handsome, young, talented, intelligent, and great fighters. He was having this dream when the son breathed his last. His wife screamed and started crying. He opened his eyes. He was completely shocked. He sat there dumbfounded because just a moment before there were 12 sons. They all gone, and here this son also had died. He was completely bewildered. His wife worried whether his mind was damaged because he had great affection with his son, and not a single tear was coming out of his voice. His wife shook him and said, Has something happened to you? Why don't you cry? He said, For whom I should cry? There were 12 suns a minute before. All they died. Should I cry for them or should I cry for this sun? I wonder whom I should cry for. Just as 12 suns has gone, 13 have also gone. Everything has finished, he said. That was a dream, and this too is a dream. That was a dream, and this is also a dream. When I was seeing the dream, it was real for me at that moment. It was real uh, for me at that moment. I had completely forgotten this sun. When the dream broke, I remembered you all. Now both dreams have gone. Now I have awakened from daydreaming. It is enough. Now I won't be roaming about in the dreams of the world. The time has come to understand. Neither this is true nor that was true. Now I have awakened. Let go has happened. Janak has not moved an inch, but Janak says, Imagine, let go has happened. Renunciation happened through understanding and piercing in the heart straight like an arrow. Imagine, now through the circle of your teachings, having renounced the body and the world, what circle is it? Hardly a leaf is shaken and the awakening has happened. The world is no longer is being seen. My whole vision has been changed. Now I am seeing the divine only. Now I will still live here, but now I will live like a ghost. It is all the same. I will work, but now no worry catches hold of me. You stay where you are. There is no need to flee to Himalaya. Sannyas is not escaping. Everything remains as it is, and let be happens. It is an inner matter. You will be surprised what has happened. If you want to live skillfully, take your life as acting. This too is like a dream. It is still a stage. Don't make a home here. Stay here just as in the rented house. You are going to depart. There is no need to sink roots down here. One who dies, one who does will suffer, will come back again and again. No salvation for him. What skill, what a master I have met. I see only divine. I don't see anything else. Now all this appears as part of the divinity, just his waves. Just as waves, foams, and bubbles are not other than water, so this individual soul is not other than universal soul. Just bubble rise from the water and they just disappears back into it. In the same way, there is nothing here that is separate from divinity. We are all his bubbles and his waves. We are unnecessarily thinking that we are doer. We are just like waves and bubbles in the water. I have started to see this. This is an experience, an expression arising from a deep experience. This is an experience and expression arising from a deep experience that he is having. You also have you also take a look. It is just a matter of small change of vision. Sri Krishna says in Gita, Divya Drashti, the wonder eyes. It is a change of vision only. You must have seen a picture in children's book, a single picture in which, if you look carefully, you will see an old woman and same time you will see a young woman. As you go on watching, it begins alternative. Sometime the old woman appears and sometime the young woman appears. You will surprise. It is something which you might never have thought about. You cannot see both at the same time. By looking in one way, it has one appearance. By looking other way, it has another appearance. But the way you look changes the whole meaning. Janak says, I see only the divine. Just as clothes, when analyzed, is nothing but thread. Likewise, this universe, when analyzed, is nothing but the soul. Scientists also say that the whole universe is made of one energy, just as cloth is only thread. Exactly the same way this existence is woven from being one. Just as sugar produced from sugarcane juice is wholly pervaded by it, the universe produced by me is pervaded by me. From the ignorance of soul, world appears. By knowing soul, world does not appear. The soul is non-doer, and you are soul, not the body. This is this you remember forever. Hence you have done things. Hence the sins are not yours. You should possess the qualification of divinity. From the ignorance of the rope appears a snake. From knowing the rope it does not appear snake. Likewise, from the ignorance of the soul, this world appears. From knowing the soul, it does not appear. Try to understand it a little. A rope is lying on the ground, but you see a snake in the darkness. But you see a snake in the darkness and become afraid thinking it is a snake. You run away. You bring sticks and start to beat it. Then someone brings a lamp and the sticks falls from your hand. Fear vanishes in the light. You see it is not a snake. It is just a rope. The snake exists only because you could not see the rope as a rope because of darkness. There was no snake. Likewise, the world is. By knowing the soul, world does not appear. It appears only if you do not know the soul. There are two ways for renunciations. One way is by renouncing the world, you can know yourself. The other way is you know yourself and the world will automatically be dropped. When you start seeing your being, world is not at all visible. If you see the world and yourself as body, then you don't see your being. There is no way whatsoever. Both cannot be seen. Both can be seen simultaneously. If you want to see darkness, then that does not make the mistake bringing light. If you want to see darkness, then does not make the mistake of bringing light. If you don't want to see darkness, then only bring the light. Darkness and light cannot be seen altogether. Darkness is the absence of light. When light is present, how can its be absence be there? Snake yourself inside. Shake yourself inside. Awaken yourself. Your awakening is all that is needed. Don't worry. Don't bother about what anyone says. If people say you are mad, then go mad. Has anyone become enlightened without going mad? Give your attention to your inner being. This world has nothing so valuable as this to give to you. Don't sell your being one, even if in exchange you receive the whole universe as your kingdom. What is the use of it if you gain the whole world but you lose your own entity? If you save your soul and lose the whole world, you have everything. This is a journey of great aloneness. Divinity is the journey of great courage, of great daring. Those who are ready to accept the risk of going into the unknown, it is for them. It is not for the clever one who calculate everything. Sannyas is needle. The thorn of the world is stuck in you. The thorn of the world is stuck in you. This is the way to take it out. If you can pull it out without a needle, which is even better, what could be more blessing than Astavakra? If you can understand Astavakra, then there will be no need for sannyas. But make sure you are not deceiving yourself. Janak said, light is my self-nature. I am not other than that. When the universe is illuminated, it is illuminated by my delight. When you get the light of divinity, you become the same and start to speak in a different tone. Janak uttered these words in a moment when he was filled with delight. If you consider them without testing, there is a possibility of misunderstanding, and his meaning will seem something quite different. Then you will add your own interpretation. For example, when Sri Krishna says in Gita to drop everything to Arjun and surrender to me, when you read it, you will feel this declaration is very egotistical. The meaning you will give to this me is your meaning, not of Sri Krishna's. In Sri Krishna's statement, this I remains just for a reference. For you, this reference is much more. In your state of mind, this reference will become the truth. For Sri Krishna, it is merely reference, not indicating everything more, not indicating anything more. He has to speak, so he used it. He wants to communicate, so he used it. But after speaking, there is no I. If you look into Sri Krishna's eyes, you will not find any I in his eyes. There is ultimate silence, only emptiness. The I has disappeared. This is why the Sri Krishna can say, come and surrender to me. When he says surrender to me, we interpret me as we know it. Me as we know it. These words of Janak will surprise you even more. Janak says, imagine my nature, imagine my light, surprise what I am. I touch my own feet. I bow down to my feet. It will shock you. In the statement, Janak bows down to himself. The other no longer remains. He says again and again, imagine, I am eternal. Myself is in wonder. I bow down to myself because when all is perished, still I remain. From Brahma to all smallest atom, all will be destroyed, but still I will remain. Don't forget this I is not for Janak. This I is not for Janak, face or body, but eternal one. I am in the world and yet untouched, like a lotus in the water. This I is egoless. This I am for all being. We never heard such a declaration. I bow down to my feet. You will think that this is the egotism. You will feel this is the egotism. It would be all right if he said it to others to bow down, but there is no other. Now Janak looks. That is why he is touching his own feet. Janak says, this whole universe is lighting by my light. Certainly this light Janak is talking about cannot be the light of the eye. This cannot be light of void of eye. So don't look at the language. Don't let the intellectual meddle. The meaning is very simple. Don't twist and distort it. Distort it. Only try to understand it. This eye is for all of us. We can hear, if we can awake, if we can be witness. What is hidden in me is the key to see. Inner source of light is achieved when the eye has gone. But now can one say it? But how can one say it when it is to be described? The eye has to be brought back in again. When the universe is illuminated, it is illuminated by my light only. Certainly, Janak is not talking about the person named Janak. Likewise, Sri Krishna is not talking about the body named Sri Krishna. They are speaking from within. They have seen the everlasting one who is hidden in the body. Janak and Krishna personality has disappeared. Individual waves has gone. Only the ocean remains. Only the divine remains. This declaration of Janak is not about himself. This is for whole existence. Learn to be obliterated, then the test of this will start coming. And when the test comes, declaration like this will arise from you too. It is difficult to stop. Janak did not say these words after thinking. He would have hesitated to say if he had thought. He had just brought Astavakra there. Astavakra said few things and Janak's enlightenment happened. Imagine that through ignorance the imaginary world appears in me, just as silver appears in mother of pearls, a snake in rock, a marriage in the rays of the sun. Imagine The happening happened so suddenly, so forcefully, that Janak could not contain it. Everything is beyond belief. When it is not happened, it seems impossible. And when it happened, it happened. It seems even more impossible. Janak is exactly in the same state. Imagine, everything is just imagined. Only I am true. Only the witness is true. All else is illusory. All else is illusion. Everything else is illusion. I used I used by Janak is not his body, but his I is the witness of all being. Understand this properly. Universe has been created by me and will dissolve in me, just like a spot dissolve in clay, a wave in water, or a bracelet into gold. Janak, human form is disappearing and his divine form is coming out. Same once Swami Ramtirtha went to America. Someone asked him who created the universe. Ramtirtha must have been in Samadhi. He said, I did. I made them all. I created the world. I set them in motion, and they have been moving over since that day. To understand this statement, we have to remember Sri Krishna. In Gita, Sri Krishna also said that I have created the whole universe. Those both statements are difficult to understand. Actually, both of them are speaking as the eternal, as the immortal, not speaking as a man and defined as body and mind. They are speaking as the one beyond the body and mind. These declarations are from the existence itself, but it is very difficult and very hard to accept when it has been said by Swami Ramtirtha. But it is very easy when it has been said by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. In this moment, Janak personality is dissolving and he is speaking from infinity. Under Astavakra influence, Janak remembered who he was. Is this something easy to say? The universe which has created by me will dissolve in me. Is this something easy to say? The universe which has been created by me will dissolve into me. Lord Sri Krishna has also said the same thing after 10,000 years in Sri Bhagavad Gita, that I have produced this whole world and it will dissolve into me. Imagine, am I bow down to myself. When the whole world shall perish from Brahma to very blade of grass, I shall not perish. I am eternal. Do you see how wonderful this statement is? I bow down to myself. Certainly, this is not Janak's statement. This is an expression of all the ultimate happening that has taken place. All shall be destroyed. I will not be destroyed. All are born and will die. I am not born. I will not die. Sri Krishna has also said the same thing. Soul never born, soul never dies. I am amazed. I myself in a way. I watch them being created and I watch them being destroyed. They are all events. Two appears, but I am still dual. This appearance of two is only on the outside, like seeing the branches of the tree. If you count the branches, there are many. If you count down the tree to the trunk, they all become one. It is just the same in the world. Many are seen, but coming back to the source, they become one. It is all the expansion of one. Imagine am I bow down to myself, although embodied, but I am no dual. I neither go anywhere nor come from anywhere. I just exist. I pervaded the world. Listen, Janak is saying that he pervaded the world. He is the definition of the world. The world is inside him, like clouds arising in the sky and disappearing. The whole edges rises and dissolves in him. Sri Krishna also said the same thing in Gita, chapter 9, verse 5. There were childhood in your sky first, and when you became a young man, that form disappeared and another cloud surrounded you. You assumed a new form, new desires arose. Desires put on new clothes. Then you starting getting old. Your clothes also left. The noise and glamour of your youth also went. Desire washed away. Now you are surprised how you could have got lost in those desires. Now you are shocked to think that you. Astavakra Gita, Chapter 2, continue. Do you hear Janak is saying, no one is as capable as he is. This is the art, subtle fullness, who is full as I, as capable as I. I have not touched the body, I have never touched it. There is no way to touch it because your nature of I and the nature of the body are so different that touching is not possible. You are simply the witness. You can only see. You and body cannot meet. You exist in the body. The body exists in you, but without touching each other, is as if at an infinite distance. Their nature is so different that you cannot mix them. So Janak says, I am filled with wonder. What is this capacity of mine? I have done so many actions and still I am unattached. I have enjoyed so much, but still no trace of attachment pulls on me. As if you are writing on water, you go on writing, but nothing is written on the water. With the witness, you go on doing things, enjoying things, but nothing is written. Everything disappears like lines on water. We go on telling ourselves that we are one with the body, but we cannot be one with the body, and we can go on telling ourselves that we are separate from the divine, but we cannot be separate from the divine. We can understand the day when we will know that we are joined to the divine. That day we will know. Oh, wonder of wonders! I had never been united with the body. Learn to be witness in ordinary life. Make a little effort. Watch yourself walking on the road and be a witness. Watch yourself walking on the road and be a witness. Watch yourself being angry. Slowly, slowly you help and support the witness. One day the declaration will happen within you too. The ultimate rain will come. Imagine am I bow down to myself. I have nothing at all, or I have all that can be encompassed by speech or thought. Janak is saying in one sense nothing is his because he is not. He is no longer exist. So is in one sense nothing is his, and in another sense everything is his. As he no longer is and only existence remains in him. Godliness remains and everything belongs to it. Everything belongs to godliness. This happens. This happened when it seems nothing is his and everything is his. Lord Sri Krishna has said, nothing is there in the world which I do not possess, even though I do the karma. Your devotee and your God are inside. Let the union happen there. Lose yourself within. You yourself are the divine and you yourself are the devotee. There are not two. There is only one. This can happen just by awareness as it happened to Janak, merely through understanding, but great intelligence is needed. If you keep your eyes separate, if you keep your eyes separate, if you become pure naked consciousness, this can happen immediately. If it happens, it is good. There is no method in it. If it does not happen to you, you won't be able to ask how to prepare for it to happen. You won't be able to ask how to prepare for it to happen. If you ask about the preparations, it does not happen. Then there is no way. Then Patanjali is your path. Astavakra is not your path. This is why the Astavakra Gita goes on lying in darkness. This is why the Astavakra Gita goes on lying in darkness. Such brilliance is rare. I bow down to myself means both the devotee and the divine are within me. You must have heard from your so-called Mahatmas that devotee is greater than God. It is all childish. There is no two. They are not two. There is only one. Devotee should also follow the virtue of God. We should mingle with the God like sugar mingle in the milk. That is all. Duality is the reason of your pain and pleasure. Duality is the reason of your pain and pleasure. Knowledge, what is to be known, and the knower, these three do not exist in reality. I am the spotless reality in which they appear because of ignorance. Truly, dualism is the root of suffering. There is no remedy for it. The realization all we see is unreal, and I am one endless reality consisting of consciousness. Janak renounced nothing and he became a great denouncer. Duality is the reason of pain. There is no medicine. All these things are false. I am pure consciousness. Who has known oneness, then who to fight with whom? Who to fight with whom? I am the whole I am the whole and soul. I am there in all. Janak is saying disease is false and there is no cure of false sickness. By knowing the sickness is false, you can get rid of all the things. Whatever the ways and sources are there to get in salvation and divinity, all are the medicines to remove the false sickness. I am pure awareness, though through ignorance I have imagined myself to have additional attributes. By continuing reflecting like this, my dwelling place is in unimagined. The moment you will be able to see the truth, there will be nothing to renounce. All the dreams will vanish. You will be able to see divine within. You will totally of God. You will be able to experience divinity within. Astavakra says this to rest within, nowhere to go and to be nothing and to be nothing. For me here is neither bondage nor liberation. The illusion has lost its basis and ceased. Truly all this exists in me, though ultimately it does not even exist in me. What a wonderful statement is this! There is no bondage and no salvation for me. You must have heard world is bondage. Renounce the world. Renounce the bondage. Search for salvation and get the salvation. But listen what Janak is saying. He is saying there is no bondage and no salvation. Such position of the heart is to get in divinity. Such position of the heart is to get in divinity. Bondage are of imagination, and salvation is also imagination. Recognizing that all this and my body too are nothing, while my true self is nothing but pure consciousness. What is there left for the imagination to work on now? The entire bases are fallen down. There is no desire for pleasure and there is no fear for pain. Neither have I wanted to become anything nor to go anywhere. I dropped the entire basis. There is no place for imagination too. I have saved nothing. Some are having the imagination of wealth, some are mad after position, some desire heaven, but all these are of heart, not mind. The body, heaven, hell, bondage, liberation, fear too, all these are pure imagination. I am unconcerned soul. What is left to do for me, whose very nature is consciousness? A wonderful happening happened with Janak. In the mirror, in the mirror of Astavakra, Janak has seen his face and got the knowledge. This happened with a great difficulty. This happened with a great difficulty. Janak started to speak as like Astavakra. I do not see dualism in a crowd of people. So what do I gain if it is replaced by a desert or forest? What do I gain if it is replaced by a desert or forest? Masses have become like forest for me. How to do attachment and to whom and where. There is no other one for attachment. I am surprised. I am not seeing too. I have not become blind. I am able to see, which I have never seen. Eyes are fully open, and I am not able to see dualism. I am seeing one and one only. All have become the branches and leaves of the same tree. Dualism. Dualism is not visible. Earlier I was seeing duality, not now. Astavakra is listening peacefully. Astavakra is listening Janak peacefully. Janak is going on saying, Astavakra has not spoken a single word. Astavakra wants to see the happening which has taken place in Janak. Let him say once what has happened to him. Let it flow whatever happened within. I am not the body, nor is the body is mine. I am not a living being. I am consciousness. It was my thirst for living that was my bondage. I am not the body, nor is the body is mine. My bondage is I wanted to live. Janak is explaining what he has experienced. My bondage was that I wanted to live. What to do with the desire to live now? What to do with the desire to live now? Where to keep the desire to live? Where to attach myself? Because now I am seeing one and only one everywhere. I am seeing very clearly that I am conscious. Janak says all being bondage is this, they want to live. It is wonderful. Someone has no laps and begging on the road even though he wanted to live. Attachment of surviving is very deep. Attachment of surviving is very deep. Attachment of living is so deep that man wants to live whatever the circumstances may be. It is natural. Janak says, I am not the body and body is not mine. Whatever is being seen, this living being, that is not I. Certainly, I am consciousness. There was bondage that I wanted to live. Now I came to know myself is life. Desire to live is foolishness. Truly, it is in the infinite ocean of me that, stimulated by the colorful waves of the world, everything suddenly arises in the wind of consciousness. In the infinite ocean of myself, the wind of thought subsides, and the world boat of the living being traders is wrecked by lack of good. World boat of the living being traders is wrecked by lack of good. How wonderful it is that in the infinite ocean of me, the waves of living being arise, collide, play, and disappear in accordance with their nature. Nanak says, as like winds create the waves in sea, earth creates thousand types of waves. These waves are not mine, they are of heart. It is to be pointed out clearly that the waves of the heart must be stopped. Waves of the heart must be in peace. Question arises what to do to keep the waves of heart in peace. Our scriptures describe so many things, but to keep the waves of heart in peace, Astavakra and Janak views are very different. They do not say you do this or that. They say by doing waves of heart will raise more. You will satisfy one, second one will arise. You will satisfy second one, third one will arise, and this will never end. You need not to do anything. There is no question of doing. You just sit and see. You just sit and see. Don't do anything. If you will do, waves will arise again and again. You just go on seeing them all. Do nothing. It is all wonderful. All the waves are being created by nature. They play, fight together and dissolve by nature. It is all happening by nature. You will not be able to pacify. You will not be able to pacify. You neither can pacify nor unpacify those. You don't come in between. Let it be happening. You remember that you are observer. Let the waves rise, play and fight. As the waves rise by nature, they will dissolve by nature. You just sit on the bank of the river as a observer. Thank you, thank you. Just going on listening and doing Astavakra Gita. Thank you. Astavakra Gita, third chapter. Astavak blessed truth to Janak. Astavakra blessed truth to Janak. Such was the effect of his teaching. Such was the effect of his teaching that Janak had started reflecting immediately. Janak said, "Oh, wonderful! Surprisingly, I slept so far. Now, by your teachings, I have awakened. Everything begins from me and is controlled by me." Astavakra was just listening what has happened to Janak. Astavakra was watching. Now Astavakra is questioning Janak. Whatever you are saying, have you experienced it or you are confused by my teaching? After knowing the immortal soul, Janak, are you still interested in money, power or position? Astavakra asked Janak, by knowing the soul is one and immortal, are you still interested in earning the wealth? Janak had not left the palace and not renounced his wealth. Astavakra has put up a question to Janak. You are announcing soul is one and immortal. You are declaring oneness of divinity. And even after this declaration, are you still interested in money? Are you still interested in throne, palace, position, etc.? Astavakra asked a question to Janak. When you have recognized oneness of divinity, you have come to know you yourself is divine. You have come to know you yourself is divine. Then can you run after money even now? You just search money, power, position, and greed are there or not within you. If there is desire for money, power, position within you, then whatever you are saying is all waste. And if you do not find the desire of money, power, position within you, then only you can understand that something has happened. Otherwise, nothing has happened. Hence, you once again peep within and see if there is any hope of getting anything or any interest of anything or any desire, even so small, is not left within you. You just answer me this. You just answer me this. It is a major happening happened to Janak, but Astavakra wants to check it up, but something has happened actually. As Janak had said time and again, wonderful, astonishing, I am myself divine, how foolish I was indulging, what kind of madness. It is very much wonderful that I find myself as divinity. Atma is Paramatma. How can I indulge in worldly things? They are just like cells looking like silver in glittering sun. They are just like cells looking like silver in the glittering sun. Due to lack of knowledge within, we run after worldly attraction. When we see a rope lying on the road, we think it is a snake. We run here and there and get ourselves hurt. Due to ignorance, a rope has frightened us. Due to ignorance, rope has frightened us. Likewise, due to ignorance of soul, we feel worldly things are true. It is all due to false notions. Many times you have heard to leave anger, greed, pride, and so many other things. But if you recognize your soul and start to live within, then there is no need to leave all these things. They will run away automatically. As to remove darkness, you have to bring light, and darkness automatically go away. Therefore, Astavakra is saying, have you got the self-knowledge, Janak? Have you got the self-knowledge, Janak? It looks by your announcement that you have got the self-knowledge. Now I am asking you, just try to find out and try to search within if there is any attachment due. If there is any attachment due, whether the old waves hold you, all this wells up like waves in the sea. Recognizing I am that. Why run around like someone in need? Getting in divine means nothing left to gain. Getting in divinity means nothing left to gain. Wise person never runs like ordinary one. You just look within whether any desire for worldly things is left to you. Enlightenment means you do not require anything from this world. If you require anything from this world, that means you have not experienced divinity so far. As Lord Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavad Gita that I have acquired everything in this world and there is nothing which I have not received. There is nothing which I have not got. After knowing beautiful soul, how can one indulge in worldly things? By hearing, no one can get enlightens. By hearing, no one can get enlightens. Keep it in the mind. Enlightenment comes by self-experience. Just by hearing, you should not come to conclusion that you have experienced the divinity. Until and unless you experience yourself, don't agree by hearing. Until and unless you experience yourself, don't agree by hearing. You can be enlightened by You can be enlightened only by self-realization. In all creatures there is soul, and all creatures are there in soul. Even knowing this, the knowledgeable person is attracted by worldly things. Is it not wonderful? Astavakra says, you just see the saints and munis. All are saying that the soul is in all creatures, and all creatures are there in soul, even though they are fascinated by worldly things. Don't be such a sage which talks renouncement but desire within. So you don't hurry Janak. You also don't be that type of saint who is going on saying that we have renounced all worldly things and we do not have any desire, attachments, or anger within. But reality is this that some are going on trying to renounce, some are going on trying to renounce, and some are not even trying to renounce and going on saying that we have renounced. So many saints are like this. They are being fascinated by worldly affairs. This is really astonishing. Attachment are there. What will be more wonderful than this? Attachments are there. What will be more wonderful than this? Saints are also bounded. There are people who talk about realization but still indulge in all sorts of worldly things. They are talking divinity and still desires the worldly things. Therefore, Astavakra says, Hey Janak, just look within properly and announce. Don't try to announce so fast because this happens very rarely. It is astonishing that a man who has reached the supreme no dual state and is intent on the benefits of liberation should still be subject to lust and in bondage to sexual activity, who is totally relaxed and surrendered to oneness and fully interested in divinity, even though because of old habits falls in for desires and sex, is it not strange? How wonderful is this? Who is ready to enter the kingdom of divinity? Who is ready to enter the kingdom of divinity? Who has announced his faith in divinity and oneness of soul? Very strange, because of old habits, he again and again runs after desires and sex. Therefore, Astavakra says to Janak, do not go fast. These waves are very old. You have been liberated within minutes. Astavakra does not say that you are not liberated because Astavakra philosophy is this only that you can be liberated immediately. But still, he says, Janak, you think whether you are fully confident about yourself. Do not take early decisions that you have become liberated at once. Astavakra wants to satisfy himself that Janak may not fall in worldly attachments. Astavakra first wants to check Janak, Janak from all sides so that nothing should be in doubt. And this happening must not be half done. This happening must be full in way. It astonishes that one already very debilitated and knowing very well that its arousal is the enemy of the knowledge. Knowing very well that its arousal is the enemy of knowledge, should still hanker after sensuality, even when approaching his last days. You got the wisdom, you have gained the knowledge of mortal and immortal. It seems you have come face to face with divinity. But the lover of salvation is afraid of salvation. Do you know these strange things? Lover of salvation is afraid of salvation. Do you know this strange thing? Just see within whether you are afraid of salvation. So many wise people are afraid of salvation. So many knowledgeable persons have fear from salvation. Generally, man virtue is also a part of fear. To do well to others because of the fear that we must not go to hell. Because of the fear, there is God. Because of the fear, there is heaven. Heavens must not be lost. God must not be angry with us. God must not do something wrong to us in anger. Astavakra says, I have seen the sages who want salvation are afraid of salvation. Janak, once again you see carefully that you must not have any fear within. If you have seen the life, then one thing is clear that life is useless. There is no use at all. You work hard to earn, run. You work hard to earn, run here and there, do not do lot of labor and mental work, earn and spend, still you are not going to get anything. It is very strange even though you do not want to die and want to live. Who has seen the uselessness of life has never wants to long life, never wants the long life. He only says the death should be the final death. No more coming and going in this false world required. Even knowing that sex is enemy of knowledge, very weak, even at the bed of death, man wants to do sex. Is not it strange? Is not it strange? What are you talking about strangeness, Janak? Real strangeness, I am telling you, man is dying. All life vigor has gone lost, even though he wants to do sex. Is not it strange enough? Astavakra first wants to judge Janak properly. There must not be any kind of mistake. So Astavakra says, you just look within. You must not fall in same old web. You must not fall in the same old web in which so many saints have fallen. A lot of wise persons are victims of this disease. Those who are talking about in renouncement, they also want all worldly things within. They are still interested in money, power, and position. Hence, you judge yourself. If all this is not there, then only your answer is right. Then only your answer is right. Thanking you.